Well, hello and welcome, to the first official video that will be staying up. As people know, I did the initial live stream, then I started. I uploaded a few smaller videos, but very quickly I was not satisfied with them because, yes, they would have been easier to do, but at the end of the day, doing videos that small is not me. So what I decided on, and I've been working hard over the last 3-4 days to get certain things set up, is I'm going to produce the videos I was producing before my other channel closed, before I closed it, because some people seem to think it was taken down. It wasn't taken down. I removed it. And I thought I'll do those videos because I want the opponent breakdown more than anything. What was missing on the smaller videos I would have done. So what I've done is I've gone in, I've chopped a few slides out, kept the core element of it, of the original career videos, and now I'm happy with this format. With a few slides removed. I don't need to chuck up loads of stuff in. There's still a lot of information in them, but it's deeper than what these smaller videos would have been, and I prefer it this way. So now simply I can sit back, relax, as Clarkson would say, and relax, and just churn out my videos. I've meanwhile set up something else. I've been working on a big job for the last 3 or 4 days, so at some point this year will come another top 1000, my first on this channel. I have a new slide background. I've slightly modified how those slides look. So there'll be a new top 1000 coming at some point this year. And in the meantime, I'll just churn away on my career videos. And I thought to myself, well, this time I'll add in more videos, more fighters than what I did on my last one, because I will be treading over some old ground, like Sam Langford and like a whole number of other fighters. But I thought, well, it won't be too bad if I had some other fighters in who I didn't cover on video during the progress I've made on my last channel. So I'll add some new fighters in. So even in this 18, 19, 19, 10 period, you will see a lot of the same fighters, but then you'll see some new fighters who I didn't cover last time. I'm happy with this format now. I'm sticking with this now. No more changes. So like on my last career videos, all videos now will be this type, these slides, this information. Other information I have on fighters can be produced in videos later on different topics or countdown lists or whatever, but I'm going to stick with this format. So without wasting any more time, after that longer intro than normal, let's go to Sam Langford. So on his major opponents, he defeats the legendary Joe Gans, beat him as a teenager as well, at a time when Gans was really, really hot. He was very highly rated, top 10 pound in 1900s in my rankings. Excellent fighter he was. So beating him as a teenager is an incredible result. He also fought to a draw against the Barbados Demon Joe Walcott. Langford also fought young Peter Jackson on 6 occasions, scoring 4 wins, 1 loss and 1 draw. Very tough fighter, Peter Jackson, the Baltimore Demon. And he also fought and defeated Philadelphia Jack O'Brien. Now, one fighter Langford didn't beat in his earlier career in 1906, was the Galveston Giant Jack Johnson. He lost to him. However, he did win Stanley Ketchel, and he twice also defeated Hall of Famer Dixie Kidd. Now on to 2 of his major opponents. Not as many fights as the Wills fight series, but still large fight series. The first is 14 fights against heavyweight Hall of Famer Joe Jeanette. Langford won 8, lost 2 and drew 4, so he only lost 2 from those 14 fights. And the secondary fighter, Sam McVeigh, the great power puncher of his time, who Langford fought 15 times, scoring 7 wins, 2 losses and 6 draws. Langford in his later career also gained a win over Tiger Flowers, and then he had that huge fight series with Harry Wills, where he scored 2 wins earlier on. But then as Wills was coming into his prime, he consistently was beating Langford because he was leaving his prime. So Langford scores 2 wins with 14 losses and 1 draw from that huge fight series against Harry Wills. He also fights heavyweight Hall of Famer George Godfrey on 3 occasions, scoring 2 wins, no loss, 1 draw. Next up on here, is Big Bill Tate. Langford fought him 11 times, scoring 6 wins, 5 loss, no draw. And he also scored singular wins over Hall of Famer Kid Norfolk and former coloured middleweight champion Jamaica Kid. Now, on to slide 2, okay, of his main opponents. He fights Lee Anderson, former coloured light heavyweight champion, on 6 occasions, scoring 2 wins with 3 losses and 1 draw. And Langford also has a 5-fight series with the great Jack Blackburn, scoring 1 win with no losses and 4 draws. Next up was Dave Holly, the loop-a-loop puncher. Langford fought him 4 times, scoring 1 win, 1 loss with 2 draws. And he also fought and defeated George Elbows McFadden in their 1 fight together. Next up, middleweight contender Larry Temple. Okay, Langford fought him 5 times, scoring 3 wins, 1 loss and 1 draw. And he 12 times, okay, in one of his longer fight series against one of his rivals throughout his career. Although not an equal, I'll say, but a rival nonetheless in terms of a huge fight series against him was Jim Barry. Langford had 12 fights against him, scoring 11 wins, no loss and 1 draw. He also fought Sandy Ferguson, okay, on 2 occasions, scoring 1 win and 1 draw. And Langford twice defeated Tony Ross. Next up, a name more familiar, okay, from that era, fireman Jim Flynn, of course, who fought Dempsey, Jack Johnson, Langford and a whole host of others. Langford fought Jim Flynn 6 times, scoring 5 wins with 1 loss and no draw. And he twice defeated heavyweight contender Al Kubiak, also twice defeating heavyweight contender Klondike Haynes. Next up is the capable Mike Schreck, okay, Langford defeated him with ease. Langford came out in round 1 and just battered him. Langford was not in playing mode. He came out and just immediately set about Mike Strick and laid into him. 2-fisted vicious assaults, and the fight was very brief. Next up is battling Jim Johnson. Langford fought him 12 times, scoring 10 wins, no loss and 2 draws. And he also had another large fight series with the ghost of Joplin, Jeff Clark. 12 fights all in all. Langford scored 7 wins with 1 loss and 4 draw. And the final name on here was heavyweight contender Bill Lang, who Langford, of course, defeated. So, on to the third and final slide. Langford doesn't have as many slides as some of the fighters to come. People who followed me in the videos will remember some had more slides, but Langford has so many large fight series, he actually encompasses more fights in his shorter slides than some other fighters who had larger slide totals. Langford twice defeated heavyweight contender Porky Dan Flynn. He also twice fought the capable Gunboat Smith, scoring 1 win with 1 loss. And he 8 times, okay, fought contender Jack Thompson, okay, scoring 5 wins with no loss and 3 draw. One man Langford couldn't beat at his advanced age, combined with Fulton's enormous size, was Fred Fulton. He defeated Langford both occasions they fought, and also Willie Meehan scored a win against an older Langford later in his career. Next up is tiny Jim Herman. Langford fought him twice, scoring 2 wins, and he 4 times fought Ed Bearcat Wright, okay, scoring 3 wins with no losses and 1 draw. And the final name on here is Tuck Jackson, who Langford defeated. So there is 171 fights highlighted there, okay. Langford scored 101 wins with 36 losses and 34 draws. So just over 100 wins there. It's going to be a huge total to try and beat, although one fighter, if I recall, does beat that. I haven't got it in front of me, but yeah, one fighter does beat that. So anyway, on to KOs, okay, a bit different to the other video. Like I said, I've stripped 2 or 3 slides out just to streamline it a bit, make it a bit easier for me, but still having a lot of information. So in terms of KOs, okay, Langford scored 127 knockouts, 53 of them were in 3 rounds or less, and Langford also scored 15 first round KOs. Now, KOs against champions, Langford scored a massive 15. He scored 10 KOs against Hall of Fame fighters and 12 KOs against pound-pounders. Oh, I'm back to the pre-rating era statement. Right, due to the pre-rating era, no, Langford scored 6 KOs over rated fighters. People who follow me on the channel know why some of these guys' figures are reduced. Now, in terms of rounds boxed, Langford boxed 2,582 career rounds. He fought 615 title fight rounds, and he fought a total of 912 rounds against champions. Nearly 1,000 rounds against champions. I mean, that is unheard of. He also fought 718 rounds against Hall of Famers, and a massive 751 rounds against pound-for-pound fighters. Now, his reduced figures against top 10 fighters and other rated fighters, he comes in with a total against top 10 fighters of 207 rounds fought. Also the same tally in rounds against top 3 fighters at 207, and rounds against ring champions is 0. So on to the champions beat. Okay, Langford has a massive 82 fights against champions. There's no easy way of saying it. He had 82 fights against champions. Okay, with a record of 39 wins, 28 losses, 14 of those losses to Harry Wills, and 15 draws. Now, Langford defeated 14 individual champions. They were Joe Gans, young Peter Jackson, Philadelphia Jack O'Brien, Stanley Ketchell, Dixie Kid, Joe Jeanette, Sam McVeigh, Tiger Flowers, Harry Wills, George Godfrey, Kid Norfolk, Bill Tate, Jamaica Kid and Lee Anderson. And he scored knockouts over 10 individual champions. They were Dixie Kid, Joe Jeanette, Sam McVeigh, Tiger Flowers, Harry Wills, George Godfrey, Kid Norfolk, Jamaica Kid, Bill Tate and Philadelphia Jack O'Brien. Massive list there, really, for a fighter. When Langford was initially fighting, there wasn't the 8 full weight divisions yet, and there was only one champion per division until, the 20s with the NSAC and NBA, etc. So yeah, there were some of the world titles going around at that time, but not legitimate world titles, if you get me. So those are massive numbers. So on to his fights against Hall of Famers. His total is a massive 63 that dwarfs even Harry Grebb's total. Langford scored 27 wins with 19 losses and 17 draws. And he defeated 11 individual Hall of Fame fighters, including Joe Gans, this is like a who's who of his era. Joe Gans, Jack Blackburn, Philadelphia Jack O'Brien, Stanley Ketchell, Dixie Kid, Joe Jeanette, Sam McVeigh, Tiger Flowers, Harry Wills, George Godfrey and Kid Norfolk. And encapsulated there are pretty much Hall of Famers in every division from lightweight to heavyweight. He has a great all-time lightweight, Joe Gans. He has a great light heavyweight, Jack O'Brien, middleweight, Stanley Ketchell and Flowers, multiple heavyweights, etc. Kid Norfolk, light heavyweight. So he's beaten great fighters, now Hall of Famers, across multiple weights. Now, in terms of Hall of Famers knocked out individually, Langford knocked out 8 of them. They were Philadelphia Jack O'Brien, Dixie Kid, Joe Jeanette, Sam McVeigh, Tiger Flowers, Harry Wills, George Godfrey and Kid Norfolk. And when we go on to the pound-for-pound slide, he also had 63 fights against pound-for-pounders with a different record. 25 wins, 20 losses and 18 draws. And Langford defeated 11 pound-for-pound rated fighters. They were Joe Gans, Jack Blackburn, Dave Holly, Philadelphia Jack O'Brien, Stanley Ketchell, Dixie Kid, Joe Jeanette, Sam McVeigh, Tiger Flowers, Harry Wills and George McFadden. And he scored knockouts over 7 of those 11 pound-for-pounders he beat individually. Stopping or knocking out Jack O'Brien, Dixie Kid, Joe Jeanette, Sam McVeigh, Tiger Flowers, Harry Wills and George Elbows McFadden. So there's the breakdown on his 3 more niche opponent categories. Okay, when we go on to his record, looks a little bit different. You see his record against rated fighters. Langford had 22 fights, albeit reduced from what it would have been. He scored 6 wins, 14 losses and 2 draws from those 22 fights. He has exactly the same record against top 3 rated fighters with 6 wins, 14 losses and 2 draws. And he has no fights against ring champions. So Langford beat 4 individual rated fighters, again a number that would be way higher. And with the rated fighters knocked out, he also scored 4 with the same handicap. So on to his title fight record. Okay, Langford had 63 title fights in total, including 38 wins, 14 losses and 11 draws. He made a staggering 41 title defences, 39 at heavyweight and 2 at middleweight. He also scored a massive 21 title fight KOs, putting him very close to the top in that category. Langford scored 4 wins against top 10 fighters in title fights, 4 wins against top 3 fighters, and 0 wins against ring champions. And against champions, Hall of Famers and pound-for-pounders in title fights, Langford scored 18 wins against champions, 15 wins against Hall of Famers in title fights alone. That's more than many fighters have had title fights, and 14 wins against pound-for-pound rated fighters. So on to the last slide. So we'll see how things have changed a little bit. I've trimmed it down a bit, but still get a lot of information in. That's what I wanted. The other videos I started doing were too small for me. It's me. I can't do a small video like that because over time I'd get annoyed with it. The fact I'm not giving enough information and then they'd be scrapped. Luckily, I came to realisation after the first 2, scrapped and thought, I'm starting again. I've got to do something bigger. So anyway, world titles won, okay, for Sam Langford. He captured the coloured middleweight title, and he 5 times held the coloured heavyweight title. Of course, he was never lineal champion nor undisputed champion. So other stats cut from these videos, okay, over the, I think 3 slides I've removed, or 4 slides I've removed. I think it's 4 actually from the 15-16 I had. So we still get a lot of information, but many of those other stats can be used in future content in side-by-side career matchups, you know, showing stats in certain things, etc. Okay, so, you know, I've got them all and more, but I thought for videos I'd trim them down a little bit, just streamline. So there's my first video on Sam Langford. These videos are now going to come consistently, okay, and like I said, a new top 1000 will come this year, the first on this channel. This channel will never then go anywhere. This channel is here to stay. I'm going to build it for the long term. So once I catch up quickly to where I was in the career videos in 1910, 1930 era, there'll be lots of new fighters being covered. Once that period's done, I'm just thinking about opening floodgates and doing fighters across any era. I still haven't fully decided that yet, but I'm debating whether to just think, you know what, at that point, just open it up and do anybody. The playlist will be kind of set for obviously cruiserweight, light fly, minimum weight, they come in much later. Super middleweight, etc. But most initial divisions, they'll all be well established with a large number of fighters on each. So then I'll think about opening it up, or I may just go on and do 1930, 1950 era, but I'll decide that at a later date. But the focus now is get these videos churning out, get the playlist filling up, while I also plan the top 1000 for later this year. I have to start it and finish it inside this year. So yeah, more videos on the way, hundreds of videos on the way. I've now set course. I'm committed to achieving my goal of having over 1,000 career videos. This is the first, okay? There will be many more to come. I'm the boxing librarian. It's going to be a long journey, but I'm in for the long haul now, and I'm out.